Sitting up nice and tall. If that happens with you, just join back in. It's the same link. And then for myself as well, sorry about that. Take a nice tall seat, lift your shoulders up toward your ears, and then exhale them down and back. Good. And just give yourself a moment to start breathing and feeling in your body. What is it like right now to just be breathing in this space? And for those of you that are new to the practice, just really allowing the space around you to be a part of your experience this evening. Taking nice, deep, heaping breaths in and through. It's always really fun when I have conversations with my students at school. They're 9 and 10-year-olds, and these young minds have so much to say at any time, and there's really no filter. So one of my students came up to me during lunch hour, and she said, "Miss Wong, do you eat dinner at home by yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. Well, sometimes with Charlie, my dog, but yes, I do often eat dinner by myself." And she said to me, "Well, don't you get lonely?" And I said, "Not really. I just actually really enjoy eating my food and kind of enjoying the taste." And we did this exercise together about tasting foods and trying to guess what everybody else was eating, which was really fun. And it got me thinking just a lot about having this relationship with yourself. And so here in yoga, we get this great opportunity to drop into ourselves, into our bodies with the practice, with the movement, even right now with your attention on yourself as you are breathing you. And so my invitation as an intention tonight is to really start to get to know you more. Get to know you in a sense, and not your strengths and not your flaws, but get to know yourself in a way where you have this relationship, where the most important relationship that you can build and strengthen and get to know is the one with yourself. So start with this as a consideration, meaning, what does this mean to you? And it's not fluff or la-di-da, but really just dropping into your body, taking this moment, and breathing yourself. Throughout our practice tonight, let go of the expectations that you might set up for yourself. And as we move a little or a lot, depending on how you're feeling tonight, we'll take moments where we'll allow ourselves to just come to a standstill. I call it letting the dust settle, so we can feel the motions of what is occurring on the inside. So you can begin to listen more openly to what your body is saying, as to strengthen this relationship among you and you. So please consider this as your class intention tonight, and when you are ready with it, fold your hands and palms together. Take a breath here as the right and the left side of your body meet, honoring and acknowledging the balance of our body, the injuries, the strengths, everything that you've come with on your mat today. And then place both of your palms at your center chest, maybe over your sternum or a little closer to your heart if you like, and then take a deep breath in there and really feel your breath. Lift your hands and your palms forward as the lungs inflate. And a very soft and gentle exhale, as though to allow your whole body to sigh with a settling of relief. Keep your hands just where they are, and keep yourself breathing just as you are. Just as you are for everything and everyone that allowed you to grow into this great and beautiful person today. And so my question to you is, and that invitation is, do you know this person? Do you know you? And what is your relationship with yourself? Let's use our practice, our mat, as a lab to discover and explore what that might be for you. Please start in child's pose, your first position, knees wide to your mat. Take your time to set up. Draw your hips back toward your heels and slope the spine long and forward. So you start with a really lengthy reach at the hands. Then keep allowing your fingertips to crawl further forward so that maybe the elbows and the armpits descend closer to your mat. And then take a deep breath into your chest, just like when you had your hands and palms there. And then exhale your heart a little heavier and a little softer toward the earth. What's this feeling like in your body? Do you feel different as a person in each shape? What is the tone of your breath right now? And are you willing to be committed and stay committed with your focus on you? Take a deep breath in and slowly rise into downward facing dog, raising your hips high toward the sky, fingers wide, and then paddling out with your heels one at a time. You can bend your knees generously right and left to allow that heel a little heavier toward the earth, and just notice the length that you can create at the backs of the calves as well as your hamstrings. And then take another deep breath in and see if let to settle the weight of both the hands and the feet evenly. So no matter whether the heels touch down or they stay lifted, there's an even weight amongst all four aspects that are touching the mat. Take a deep breath in here. Feel the power of your breath soak up the earth's energy from the root of the toes and the hands. And then exhale, big sighing breath, send it back out into your environment, your surroundings, the atmosphere of the earth and the universe. So really big and powerful breath. And take a moment to lower your knees down, tuck your toes. Place the hands and palms underneath your shoulders, and then let your knees just graze up off the floor for a moment. So starting to access the strength of the core in your body, belly toning in. If this brings any pain at all into your body, just lower your knees down and work the contraction instead, where the focus is the squeeze and the harnessing of the abs drawing in. We've got one more breath here. Some of you really practicing how to breathe while maintaining that engagement of your abs and core. Exhale, lower the knees down, and let's come further toward the earth. So make contact with the mat, elbows and forearms. They make number 11 with the hands, palms, fingers, and then step the legs back. Test the waters for a moment, assessing for no pain or strain in the body. If there is, the knees come down. If there's not and you're able to be here with the focus of your breath, then the knees stay lifted, the heels push back, and you hold. And may you hold the physical strength of your body like a really strong bridge, arms, legs, and feet fully involved. And then allow your breath to smooth out the rigidity that you might feel through this position, from crown to heels, and then all the way back up from the heels to the crown head. A blanket of breath, just smoothing out the tension. 2 more cycles, maintain your focus, your strength, as well as your hold. And then exhale, complete release. Knees come down, belly drops low to your mat, and take Sphinx pose. So point the toes back and work as though to slide the heart through the arms. The arms won't really move much physically, but they're engaged as the elbows slide close toward the waistline. Take a deep breath into the length of your abs. Exhale, lower the hands, chest down. Bring the palms back under shoulders, tuck the toes. As you push the toes into your mat, let the knees come off the floor, and then reverse your push-up, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in here. Full breath through. Let's use your hands like feet and walk them back toward the end of your mat where you're standing. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Let's take a deeper bend into your knees. Reach the hands in behind your low back and interlace your fingers. If the hands and palms don't meet clasp, then you can release the palms and instead point the fingers up toward the ceiling as you begin to bow forward. I'm really going to encourage you to bow forward in distance and then downward with the crown of the head and then downward with the heart as well. Take a moment of stillness and in silence and just allow yourself to hear your own dialogue through the experience and the feeling of your body. With with all the relationships that you know exist in your life, friendship, romance, family, what type of relationship might you call your body in this pose? What would that be for you? When we practice in yoga, we tend to seek, and there's a great craving for, I want to feel good. I want every pose to feel good. But sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes, as you know, we're adults, those relationships don't feel good. I'm not saying this doesn't have to feel good for you, but I'm just asking an invitation for you to explore what this might be for you. Slowly release the hands and palms. Inhale, rise halfway to re-lengthen your back. Exhale, bow, forward fold. And let's use our hands once again and paw our way back to high plank. Feel free to do this from the knees down as more support for your shoulders and your back. Feel liberated to keep the knees up off the floor. As you exhale, lower halfway. As you inhale, press back up. 2 more just like that. Exhale halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, press back. Last time, exhale halfway. This one, sweep the heart through, forward and up, upward facing dog. Exhale, return to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. In a relationship where we love someone, here loving ourselves, you honor. When you need to take a step back, a little rest. When you need to maybe color outside the lines and step outside of the box of fear and maybe just try things out. Inhale, right leg up toward the sky. Right knee toward your right elbow. Stay here and then swing the knee into the center, round your spine and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the abs as though to bring the forehead right to the knee. Keep squeezing, but don't hold your breath. 1 more and then gently step the right leg in front. The foot should be placed in between the hands and then come on to fingertips of both sides. Back heel lifted and standing over the ball foot. Take a deep breath in here and pause. Feel your ground. And with knowing that the ground is underneath you to support you, really step into it so that you can stand up and rise with it. Arms away from the mat, reaching up toward the sky. Here you are in high lunge, really lifting the energy of your body upward. So physically in our body, we make lots of gestures. Here, what might be this gesture, even as seeing yourself or the demonstration, what does this mean here? This upward lift. Take a deep breath into it. Exhale, slowly turn and twist to the right, reaching both the hands front back, so the left one's reaching forward, the right one's reaching away. And then we're going to do a little sweep down so that we can exaggerate the reach up. Inhale, lift again. And then exhale, turn and twist. We're going to do 1 more of those so let the hands come down, shoulders relaxed. Yeah, that's it. And then inhale, reach the arms up toward the sky. This time exhale, just the left arm down and bring the right arm up and hold the twist from the earth. So definitely do use the ground with your left arm. And absolutely keep the feet standing into the earth. Right arm up toward the sky, big breath in. Exhale, hands and palms down flat to the mat. Sweep the right leg up toward the sky, 3-legged. And then bend the right knee and take some circles in the air with your right knee. Like you're drawing nice and wide in the space that you have. Circle other way. And then you have the option here, if you're feeling a little risky, a little adventurous, and you're going to keep the right leg straight and come through your vinyasa, your flow, with your right toes lifted. Bend the elbows, and then except for your back bend, both feet must always touch the floor to support your hips and your low spine. Exhale, back downward dog, and let's all together as a class take a nice audible and washing breath through. So you're going to inhale through the nose, and exhale, big sigh out your mouth. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down. Inhale, rise through your back bend. Exhale, child's pose. And take a moment here. Some of you are familiar with certain variations in child's pose. So you might reach your hands back to your heels if your shoulders are feeling fatigued. You might bring your hands and palms in prayer and then bend the elbows and place the hands behind the back of the neck. Find a place for you, a pose for you to settle back into. It is so easy to let all the things around you and the people in your life distract you. Distract you sometimes from wanting or willing to see what's back inside. My students had picture day today, and I do have a mirror in my classroom, and they all wanted to see, do I look okay? Is my hair wrong? And I said, you look great. I said, the only thing you needed to bring today, guys, was your smile. And it was pretty cute because they all laughed, but we fear that reflection back often. And you've heard several times before, and you know it, that our mat and being in your practice right now is a reflection back to you. In this moment of silence, just let yourself listen into what could be heard. And when you're ready, slowly form your way back into downward facing dog. And as we move toward the other side in that same series, let's reset by framing that intention back in our mind, scoping that into focus, and do it with a nice deep breath. So inhale, feel that intent. What are you aiming for? What is the purpose here? And then let's begin with purpose. Other side, left leg up toward the sky, left knee toward the left elbow, and we're going to swing it toward the center so you can flex and round your spine, forehead close to knee, and then gently step the foot forward in between the hands. On our way up this time, you'll pause onto fingertips. And rather than feeling like we have to rush, I'm just balancing this side and doing this and that, I want you to rise from within. And sometimes going within is a place to journey into. So you're going to close your eyes. Knowing the earth is underneath you, your feet stamping into the foundation of it, start by just letting your fingertips come off the ground, eyes are closed. Pause there. Feel it out and then draw from it, push down, rise up, eyes still closed, and then reach up. And if you fell, great. And if you're wobbling, amazing. And if you're already up here, outstanding. Just let yourself be where you need to be and then celebrate it. Eyes are still closed, deep breath in. Exhale, turn, twist. Right arm to the front of your mat, left arm back. Yes, and then arms go low so that we can exaggerate that lift of the inhale up, the vibration, the elevation of your consciousness, being here fully. Exhale, twist. And then we've got one more. Hands low, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, reach up. Nice and bright through your body. Big inhale here. Exhale, drop the right fingertips down. Left arm stays up, twist. It's not about the what today in poses. It's about the how. How can I access who I am and understand this relationship that I have with myself? The most important one. Nobody's doing life for you, it's you. So you might as well be the star of the show. Exhale, left hand down to the earth, palms flat. Remember, we're taking the left leg all the way up toward the sky for three-legged. Please bend the knee and begin to draw some circles in the air as though your left knee were a pencil. Circle big the other way. Notice the range at the opposing side. And depending on what you need, take your vinyasa and your variation. If you're trying the 3 points, just make sure to keep both feet down on your back bend. Exhale through downward dog. Bring your big toes together. Let's ride this one forward. Bend the knees and take a spring or a hop of the legs to where your hands are.
Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Nice and slowly, let's find the movement of our back, sliding up towards standing, rounding the spine, grounding the legs. If any part of this roll feels tender in your spine, just bend your knees more and use your hands to walk up the legs as you come into mountain pose. Let's take our moment as we come to a standstill and a bit of a silence here. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. If you're not comfortable, close your eyes. Do something that makes you a little uncomfortable today and see maybe how it can spark a new path for your journey. Do you feel that the relationship that you have with yourself is one of love? And if you believe that logically in your mind and know it in your heart, then start to feel what that would be like in your body. I've mentioned one practice before that it's really easy to love somebody else, but can you love yourself with that same or even more amount of love? And as we begin our practice, place your hands and palms on your heart and chest, and then breathe into it. So we start embodying the energy and the consciousness of love. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, arms by your side. Big reach up, cleansing clasp breath. Inhale, reach. Sigh from you. Exhale, hands together, heart center. Take your right leg, lift it up, bend the knee, and cross it over the left-hand side. We're going to slide into a pose called Eagle or Garudasana in Sanskrit. Position your knees over your knees, the thighs resting over one another. And when you have a little bit of the balance, then start turning your hips and pelvis forward. Your right toe can touch down, or your foot can wrap around the back of the calf. Either or in between, be here. We'll take our hands and palms into that celebratory gesture, reaching outward and up, as though to ask for the lifting of our vibration, for our soul to be felt once again. Very slowly, work to maintain your balance. You're doing great. Hands and palms will gently come together. And as you uncross or unwind, keep standing on the left foot. You're going to kick back with your right hand side into airplane position. Hands and palms, heart center. Drop the right hip down to the floor and keep pushing with the right toes. Maintain your balance. Maintain your balance. And then exhale, gently drop the toes, but a shorter stance from the left heel. Yeah, that's great. And then back heel 45 degrees, hands and palms center chest. So here your hips and pelvis are turning toward the front two corners of your mat in square position. We're going to try a bit of a challenging way on our way down as a fold. So let's interlace your fingers toward your back body. Again, if the interlacing isn't feasible, then you keep your palms separated, but the fingers pointing back so that we can open the chest. So either we're here and here. Soften the knees a little and begin to dive down toward your left foot. Keep diving down. Once your gaze is there, your forehead is closer toward the earth, then just soften the chin in and let your head dangle toward the earth so your neck muscles are really relaxed. For those of you that have your hands interwoven, you may take the extension of your arms up toward the sky. If you had your hands free, keep reaching wide with the palms, pinky fingers up toward the ceiling. Deep breath in. Full breath through. Let your hands come to your hips, either variation that you chose, And we're going to bring ourselves back to stand, but as soon as you're standing on the left foot, you're going to bring your right knee and thigh up toward your chest. If you want to peek forward at the demo first and then do second, that's fine. Spine is long, hands are on hips. As soon as the weight comes off the left leg, I'm going to bring the right knee and thigh up. Yeah, that's it. And flex the toes up toward your knee. Let's lift up again through the hands and palms. Inhale, big breath. Just like you did in your lunge before, you're going to exhale and twist to the right. We're going to hold our twist, show you from the side. Bring your hands and palms just gently to the outside of your right thigh. You're going to use your right thumb maybe and let that hip come down and in. So I'm going to exaggerate it for you. When the hip and the outer glute are lifted, you're going to squeeze, tuck in and down, and then a little bit back. Use that positioning of the hips now to stand taller out of the left leg. I know you're balancing, you're doing really well. And then the crown of the head up toward the sky, and maybe you can start turning and taking a glimpse as to what is behind you. Go for it. That's it. When we start to look back, physically in your body you're balancing, but sometimes a little bit of what's back there or what we can't see or what we think we can't see can be a little scary. So venture back, see what's behind you, and then inquire and know what is within you. Slowly untwist, unwind, relax in mountain pose. Hands, palms alongside you, settle back in. Feel everything you do right here. What's physically happening in the body as we've only done one side in that series. What is your mind speaking in this moment? And how is your heart feeling? Are you still in love with yourself? Reset the intention. Let's cleanse with a breath before completing that other side. Inhale, reach the arms wide and up. Exhale, sigh, hands come toward heart center. Weight shift into the right leg, please. Lift up your left knee. You can start setting up for Garudasana, eagle pose on this side. Take your time, notice your approach and how you're setting up for things. Is there hesitation? Are you delaying for whatever reason? Are you in it right quickly and then you want to get out just as fast? I don't know. And the way that you do, the way that you are in your practice is a speaking, is an acknowledgement of remembering and knowing who you are as well, reconnecting. And today for our intention, you are reconnecting to this great relationship that you have with you. Take a deep breath in and then celebrate that by reaching the arms out and up. So you keep reaching up, and I'll just do an exaggeration. If we were in a position telling our body to speak or hunched over, we'd be down like that. And it's almost that energy or that conscious form of our body going, oh yeah, meh, life's great, or my life sucks or something, and you're down. But if we bring ourselves through our physical practice into these expressions and gestures, then we start to change the consciousness that physically exists in our body. Good, you've been holding a long time, I know. Let's get ready to slowly unwind and fold. And I know we're together as a class online, but let's see if we can do it together. So I'm going to give you a count of 8 to unravel into your airplane pose. Ready, you guys? Take a deep breath in. Here we go on 8. Uncross, unwind. 7, 6, gently extending that left leg back by now. 5, 4, be with time, no rush. 3, 2, full expression on 1, as extended as could be, and then fine-tuning the motion in your hips, that left hip coming down. Hands and palms toward the heart and center chest, And rather than reaching down with the chest, you're going to pull the hands up toward the heart and expand the back body. One more breath here, hold it. And then exhale, land it, left toes to the back, couple feet from your right heel and angled at 45 degrees. Awesome transition. Bring your hands to your hips to perhaps steer your hips more into square. And then choose the position that you like. So if you did interwoven fingers, then make sure that you're interlacing with the actual opposite grip. If you did hands to hips or another one, then do that. And let's make our way down slowly. Reaching with the heart toward right toes. Hands and palms go where they need to be. A few breaths in stillness as well as silence here. Slowly releasing by coming up with the head and the heart, placing the hands on the hips, and as you load the right foot with more weight, begin to lift off through the back toes and carry that energy up with you as you bend the knee and lift the thigh. Nice. Inhale the arms upward, big reach. Exhale, twist. Hands now gently supporting the outer hip and the knee, and then dropping the left hip down, pushing through the right heel, standing nice and tall in your spinal rotation. Take another breath in. Breathe the confidence that you know and have, and start turning to look back. Even if that means completely falling out of your balance in your position. Go for it, look back, that's it. Nice. Way to try that again, that's outstanding. And then gently and slowly release. Feel the relief of your physical body, right and left side toward the floor, soak it up. Feel the comfort, noticing the difference from being on one leg to two. And then just let yourself stand in your body with it. What kind of relationship do you have with yourself when you know you've failed at something or you've made a grave mistake that you know you can't change? Can't change what has occurred in the past? Is there still love present? Is there possibly a forgiveness as well? Let's take a deep breath in, reach the arms up toward the sky. Exhale, hands and palms together, center chest. We're going to step the legs out a little wider for Malasana squat. So generally, if you have longer levers, go a little wider, but you may need to gauge as you're coming down with bent knees. And what you're gauging and looking for is that the knees aren't going beyond the toes. So I'll exaggerate that if I'm going really wide here, then I need to step my feet wider so that my toes are in front of my knees as I come down. If there's any pain in your body whatsoever, use a pair of blocks or come to sit down directly on the floor. We're going to be here for a little while. And this is a really good position or pose to practice, Malasana, for breathing through the tension that might build in the body. Please discern that from any pain, any sharpness or straining or injuries that you're recovering from. And be able to solely just breathe through the tension with your awareness, with your focus on your breath, and with the belief and the strength of this relationship that you have with you. Slowly exhale to bring the hands down to the floor and then gently walk the knees down as well. If the inner thighs, the hips feel a little tight, you can do a little swish of the hips side to side to gently rinse them through. We'll keep the knees bent here and open through the front legs, the quads. Toes touch, knees wide. Use the hands to slowly walk your way back. Keep lifting your hips up and then slowly lowering them back down in order to give space in your low lumbar. So there's absolutely no need to lie back or reach back at all. Just go to a place where you're feeling, okay, there's a bit of a spark and stretch in my quadriceps. And for those of you that are recovering in knee injuries, then you'll come to the side instead and take one leg back and stretch your quads from this pose. That's it. Noticing the tone of your breath. As you are ready, slowly walking your way back up. Really use the back elbows in your arms if you were quite low. That's it. Bring the hands and palms in front and then walk the knees a little closer together for now. We want your knees standing underneath the hips. If you have a towel, your knees are sensitive, or you just want to fold your mat a few times and create another layer of cushion and support, you're welcome to do that. Toes tucked under or untucked, so long as there's engagement in the arch and the foot to support the rest of the leg. And you're going to come up and stand on the knees. If being on the knees is too much, then you're going to lie onto your back and do a bridge pose, and I'll show you in a moment as I guide you through this next one. Hands are supporting the low back completely, and just start with a little squeeze of the elbows. You may do this with low gaze or closed eyes, but a deep breath into your heart and your chest, because it's going to be that aspect of the body that's lifting up. So rather than feeling, oh, I want to go back and throw my head and my neck back, you're going to start from center and start lifting the heart and the chest up, straight up. That's it. Your hands are completely supporting their spine the whole time. No pain or tension. And certainly for those with tender knees, then you're lying down on your back and lifting your hips up here. We call this one camel or Ustrasana pose. As you work your way to climb back up, support your spine completely. Take a moment. And then you can either sit on the heels or on a block or directly to the floor if your knees are bothering you. Even if you were lying down, come to sit for a moment to allow the blood flow to stand from crown to heart and then hips. We're going to return to that gesture. We'll put this time one hand, so maybe it'll be more accessible to have our right hand closer toward our heart and then our left hand on our belly. And start feeling for your breath riding into the barrel of the body, meaning into your belly and into your lungs. That's a place that gets to hold and carry your breath, exhaling from your lungs and exhaling from your belly. So keep breathing this way for just a few more cycles. Often that pose that you just created, camel or Ustrasana, is believed by yogis and yogic philosophy to carry a lot of energy in the back body where the kidneys are, and that area can be a place that holds on to a lot of loss or a lot of grief. And so as we move into that pose, it gives us an opportunity to release from maybe the losses that we've endured and perhaps any residual grief that might be stored energetically there. With that in mind, breathe you. And with the intention of our class today, it could even be
grieving a little bit of the loss of the relationship that you once had with yourself. And with more clarity and space, breathing into this new relationship that you now have with you. If you'd like to stay here for a few breaths longer, please take your time. If you're ready to move into the next position, we'll use downward dog to transition into pigeon. If you're coming onto your back instead of pigeon, you know how to get there, figure 4 lying on your back. Okay, from downward dog, stretching back through the knees and legs. A little paddle like we did at the start of class perhaps. If you do want to incorporate a vinyasa or a flow, for sure, you've got time. We'll land and meet together in our outer hip stretch. Pigeon pose if you're following me this way. Right knee to the back of the right hand and wrist. Left leg walks back a little further, giving lots of space. If you're not sure, if you're new and you're getting into it, you're like, my knee does not feel good in this position, then the alternate one that I was mentioning was figure 4 lying down on your back, and then gently taking the hands to the back, opposite thigh, and pulling in. Do practice positioning the top of your body's weight a little further back, and then lowering down and using the arms if you are coming forward, so that it's not completely weight bearing on the legs with the upper body. So your arms are there to support. All variations, work at relaxing your neck. And come back into that soothing cycle of breath. Really calming your cells from the inside out. Really getting to know yourself even better from the inside out. Observing what surfaces here in dialogue. For those of you lying down on your back, you can slowly start to make your way up. And if you're in pigeon, use your hands to walk your way back. We're going to take a seated wide-legged straddle. So all you need to do to get there is lean the weight into your outer back hips, bend your knees carefully, and then turn so that you're seated. Legs in a wide stance, knees softly bent, but toes and kneecaps pointing up toward the sky. Good. Are you even on your sits bones? So a little sway or rock right and left. And try to be even on both sides. I take a side stretch and bend for the first one. Left arm down the inside of the left leg. Right arm reaches back so you can really open the shoulder and the chest. And then use your fingertips to draw a semicircle up and over the ceiling. You can go a little deeper and reach your hand toward your left foot if you like. If you'd rather keep it straight, reaching up to the sky, absolutely. You can use the left hand to leverage the inside of the left leg just a little, giving it further support. Double check that both your sits bones are connected to the floor, especially that right one, and your knees and toes are still facing skyward. That's it. Nice deep breath into your ribs. Into your belly, exhaling from your belly and your ribs. Use the legs, the heels rooting down, the right arm reach up, rise, switch and change, you go straight to the other side.
Right arm to the inseam of the right leg, left arm reaches up. Good, full semicircle over, maybe toward the right foot. Inhale, rise, return to center. So we're going to make our way back into downward facing dog. You might need to bring the legs, close the knees together, and then turn, swing the hips back. Knees step back, hands and palms bear weight, and then you're right back into downward dog. Movement or stillness is necessary and up to you. And we'll meet together in pigeon. If you're on your back on all fours, it'll be the left leg on top, left leg in front. Yeah, that's it. Hips squaring out, checking out, what am I feeling in my left knee? No pain. You can always find the alternate pose, even if it's to the other side. It doesn't have to match up exactly. There's no sense, or there's no need to be forcing the body at all. Inhale, rise, slowly taking your time to come out of your chosen variation. We'll revisit the wide-legged straddle and we'll come forward instead this time. So same pose, legs wide, kneecaps and toes lifted. Sits bones level and even with one another, right, left. Let's start with the hands in behind and then see how you feel in your legs and your body as you come forward. So you're gonna press the fingertips in behind, lift the heart and chest, relax your shoulders and just take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, start tipping the heart forward slightly. If you're feeling a sufficient stretch, meaning the muscles aren't like shaking or trembling too far or too much, and you're able to be here and sit with a nice even breath, then be here. If you're able to go a little further, they're gonna ask that you bring your hands in front instead, and then start walking your hands more forward in front. From the sideways perspective, as you're walking your hands in front, be mindful that this isn't happening here, quite exaggerated, but we can still walk in front and like, oh, I want to bring my head down. But as soon as it starts compromising the flexion in the back, then you want to bring yourself back up to length. So neutral spine, little curve here, back shoulders and neck, and slope forward. Toes are bright and up toward the sky. You're going to be here for 8 breaths. If you've already met up to your 8th breath, that's fine. If you lost count, it's okay. Just pay attention to your awareness and present time. Walk your way back slowly. And take your hands underneath the knees so that you can safely and more comfortably bring the legs together. And take a moment and seated. You can watch for it. I'm just going to demonstrate the next pose to ensure that you're safe and okay. If you want to do this by watching the demo
and doing a little bit of core, then do that there and just recline back slightly. Just make sure you're off your tailbone, okay? We're gonna come into a pose called plow to give some space to the low back as well as to elevate the legs and draw back some nourishment through blood flow into our heart. So we'll get there by rock and rolling down, and I am using some momentum in my legs and my hips. And I'll rock my hips into my palms and extend my legs up toward the sky. It's really important here that you're not looking around at all and keep the gaze straight up toward the ceiling. Legs can be here and then allow the blood flow to draw down. If you want to practice lowering the legs, up and over the head, maybe toes touching the earth, that's fine too. And then the hands and palms straight. Okay, to come out of it, squeeze into the abs and then slowly lower your way back down. Sorry if you couldn't hear me super clearly there. Okay, your alternate for that one instead, so if you don't like that one, you can come into happy baby. Lying down on the earth, taking the hands to the outsides of the legs, knees are bent. The knees bent are working the way toward your armpits. If you still want to encourage blood flow, you can take Viparita Karani, legs and arms up toward the sky, like a dangling jellyfish in the sea. Good, so choose what you like there. The first one that I was demonstrating was called plow or shoulder stand. Yeah, nice descent, good transition. Working your breath cycles here. That's it. Think of this as a small intention to bring the blood flow back to nourish the very center of your being, right where your heart is. Back to filling and feeling this great connection that you have with yourself. And as you're holding your body in stillness, maybe pondering even just a little or for a moment, the relationship that you have with yourself, why is that important? Why could it be the most important? Please slowly take your time to let your arms and your legs return to the floor depending on which position you chose. When your hands and feet meet the earth, just take a moment and pause to feel yourself land. Take a deep breath in and an exhale out your mouth. And please slide your way into Shavasana for rest. Nice deep breath into your whole body. And as you release the breath from yourself, feel your entire body exhale as a whole. Use this opportunity for yourself not only to physically rest, but to more deeply connect to the one that exists within. As human beings, it is part of our nature to create connection and relationships. And it's quite easily the way that we were formed to be able to have relationships with those around us and create them quite easily. But often, as life goes on and as you get busy, we can sometimes forget this relationship that we have with ourselves. What is the relationship that you have with you now? How is this important as you continue to embark on your journey in life? As you're ready to start to move and slowly wake your physical body up, maintain that sense of energy and of what you have created today on your mat. And move and stretch and breathe naturally. And when you're ready, rest on your right hand side. Another layer shed, and here as you come out of fetal position, a new sensation, almost of rebirth. And hopefully after tonight, a rebirthing of a new connection with you and you. And a greater establishment of this relationship that you have. When you are ready, we'll rise to seated, and then we can close all together as a class, although not physically together in the space, energetically and always, we are connected. Take this moment with a humble bow toward yourselves for showing up, for committing and carving out the time. And this humble bow as an action and a knowing that the relationship that you have with yourself matters. If not, maybe the most important one of all. And may you continue to feed this relationship with all of the love that you can. Thank you for taking a moment tonight and joining. Namaste.